Sealed product continues to sit on store shelves at your local LGS, but the singles market is starting to pick up faster than expected. There is light at the end of the tunnel. But for Wizards of the Coast, what did you expect everyone to do? Players and LGSs alike are hoping for a better outcome in the decision making at Wizards of the Coast in 2023. Welcome back, everyone. MTG Moxman here, and thank you once again for hanging out with me on my channel today. If you're new to the channel, a new subscriber joining in our conversation, thanks for being here and hitting that subscribe button. To my regular viewers who tune in each and every day, giving the videos a thumbs up and leaving comments, thanks again. And to my Patreon members, my YouTube membership members who support this channel, welcoming us into the new year, we are going to have a blast, and thanks again for supporting me each and every day of every single month. On the current pathway to destruction, Wizards of the Coast must realize by now that sealed product is like a toxic asset for the players, for the LGSs, for anyone out there. They're not going near it if they can help it. Wizards has to do dumps and stuff to get us even look that direction. Hey, look, there's some product that's kind of an okay deal. Is there any cards of value in there? Nothing that they're not going to reprint. And that leads us to the singles market, the area where there is an uptick, and that's because nobody is touching the sealed product, but players still want to buy things. Players still want to enjoy the game, and that's where they're spending their money. They're going into singles. I've seen a massive surge in reserve list singles. I did that in the video yesterday. And of course, today we're going to talk about regular singles cards that seem to be having an uptick, but not only that, cards that could have an uptick in the future. Because there's lots of cards that are not reserve list that don't get reprinted. There's lots of cards out there that don't have to cost an arm and a leg for you as a player to enjoy pseudo reserve list power at one fraction of the price. So let's get to this video. Let's jump right in and see what we're talking about on today's video. I mean, it's a card watch video. We got to start the party somewhere. Thanks a lot, Wizards, for making this so easy for the players out there. You messed up, and now the LGSs can capitalize on singles, and we get a lot to talk about until you fix the problem. Let's get started. So I'm starting out today with Portal to Phyrexia. This is a truly powerful card that most people either have already bought it or aren't really thinking about the same way I do. The market price is only $22.04 US. It's around $35 here in Canada. This card is leveled out nicely, but it's a truly powerful card from the Brothers War. It's a 9 casting cost generic. There's lots of ways to ramp out mana, we all know that. But when you're thinking of this in a commander game, when it comes into the battlefield, each opponent sacrifices 3 creatures. At the beginning of your upkeep, put a target creature card from a graveyard onto the battlefield under your control. It's a Phyrexian into addition to its other types. That's fine. But when you look at how powerful this card is, and the idea of what this card will do later on, chances are its value will climb at some point. Yes, it will get reprinted for sure. But at this price level, I wouldn't care. It's a great addition to so many different decks that it makes perfect sense to buy it now while it's on the cheap. I don't think they'll bring it around anytime soon, as they want cards like this to climb in value. So you'll have a few years at least before you have to worry about a price reprint. Now the next card, Professori Nodes from Planar Chaos. Less than $1. People forget about cards like this. This is a single casting cost enchantment, 1 white, that acts like a drop of honey, which is on the reserve list. At the beginning of your upkeep, destroy the creature with the least power. It can't be regenerated. If 2 or more creatures are tied for the least power, you choose one of them. It's amazing to see that on your upkeep you're blowing up creatures, but if you've built your deck around cards like this to slow the game down, which most players are not used to. They're used to these really fast-paced action games, but there are so many little knick-knack cards out there that can slow, teeter things in your direction, drag the game out, that they're not prepared for the long game. It's like an MMA match. They're going for a 3-round knockout, and you're planning on a 5-round long-term game. It's an amazing card to have around, and for less than $1, why would you not buy 4 of it? I mean, buy the foil, $9, come on. Here, our next card is Smoke. This is unlimited. It's a rare from Unlimited, guys. No, it's not reserve list, but its chances of being reprinted are pretty slim. The market price is only $36.72 US. It's around 60 bucks here in Canada. €17.99 to get this card into your house. It is a 2 casting cost red enchantment. Each player, remember, for Commander, each player can only untap one creature during his or her untap phase. This thing just messes people up. When they're used to untapping a massive gob of army, of goblins, whatever they're putting out, angel decks, merfolk, elves, and all of a sudden you can't untap anything, that is something to be afraid of when you've got the biggest beastie on the battlefield, or you've got some kind of land walk ability that lets you just cruise right by people. Now let's take a look at our next card, which is Meekstone. With a market price of $67.33 US, this card is still pricier, but again, we're talking the unlimited edition. You can go for a revised, spend $5. But if you want to get a card that could have potential value, if you're going to buy on the cheap, because this thing has dived in price from where it was. Cards like this will continue to fall as the player base isn't paying attention to it. There's lots of different versions of reprints, like the Kaladesh Invention one is gorgeous to look at. But why not go for an unlimited that cost as much as some of the modern day printings of cards nowadays? I would definitely consider this card. Any creature with power greater than 2 may not untap as normal during their untap phase. And it's a 1-drop. This thing goes in all kinds of decks I build with. My Kobold deck, my Throwbold deck loves this card. Amazing fun to be had, guys. Great card all around. Now our next card again. This is Hell's Caretaker from Legends. It was out in Chronicle as well. You can buy a cheap copy for $5. But the market price on this is not settled yet. This card is still falling. When you look at a card like Hell's Caretaker, 1 black, 3 other, yes, it's just a 1/1, but during your upkeep, sacrifice a creature and take a creature from your graveyard and put it directly into play. Treat this creature as though it were just summoned. Guys, being able to sacrifice a token to bring back some giant beastie in your graveyard, I used to bring back, I think Lord of the Pit was the guy I used to always bring back in the day. An amazing card. Go for an original. I still think that kind of pricing point's going to fall though, but if you're looking for a card like this for fun, you can get the cheap one, go for Chronicles, but long-term value or investability, if you're a player who can withstand the market noise, this is a great card to hold on to for the long term. I have an original one myself, love it, epic. Now our next card, very cheap card to get. If you don't want to buy a Candelabra of Thanos, you can get the Magus of the Candelabra. Market price is only $1.43. Yes, it can be reprinted, probably has. I didn't even look it up. A foil is $12.99, but he does the exact same thing as a Candelabra of Thanos, other than the fact he does cost 1 green to get out. X and untap X lands, which means if you built it into the right deck and you have some really funky lands like Mishra's Workshop, or for some reason you're playing with a Tolarian Academy, Sarah's Sanctum, cards like this can be invaluable for ramping mana to insane levels. Not to mention if you have things like Instill Energy on this guy, or you're using a Mana Flare from back in the day, people just don't see this stuff coming. I love it. And for the price point, you can't go wrong. Now our next card is Island Sanctuary. This again is a rare, unlimited rare for less than $60 US. 1 white, 1 other enchantment. You may decline to draw a card from your library during your draw phase. In exchange, until the start of your next turn, only creatures that can attack you are those that have flying or island walk. Imagine using this in the proper deck construction. You're trying to withstand something that's trying to mill you out, because you don't have to draw anymore. You can skip it and just survive the game by players not being able to attack you. There's a lot of times it's given me the win, and I just laugh all the way to the win column and say, yeah, that was a lot of fun. And it's super cheap, and this is the unlimited edition. You can get a revised for $5. Just like the art cards I'm showing you, there are cheaper versions available, but if you're looking to get something that could have future potential investable grade stuff, go for the near mint, call it a day. It's unlimited, guys. It's never been more affordable. Our next card is Teferi's Moat from Time Shift. Here we go. This card's only $2. It's super cheap, easy to get. And again, it has that playability of Moat, which is, of course, a reserve list card. Teferi's Moat is 1 white, 1 blue, and has never been more playable with all the amazing white-blue deck combinations we have nowadays. As Teferi's Moat comes into play, choose a color. Creatures of the chosen color without flying cannot attack you. If you're in a big multiplayer game of Commander, maybe just playing some tabletop with your friends, kitchen table magic, whatever it is, choosing the right color against the most opponents means this card can be amazing in a long-term mid-range deck. A lot of good times to be had, and there's so many ways of bringing back enchantments nowadays. You can't go wrong for $2 Canadian to get this card. Now our next one again is Unlimited Edition. Remember, pay attention to this stuff. It's kind of crazy to see how cheap some of them are. Armageddon is all lands in play are destroyed. All lands. If you've built the right way, you'll be fine. Market price is $149.95 US. A moderately played here in Canada is about $100 for moderately played. Unlimited Edition rare. But if you have the cash, like I've said with the other cards, go for a near mint copy if you can find it, a light played, something that will have more value going forward, because Alpha, Beta, Unlimited, the prices are kind of being affected, but Alpha and Beta are rock solid, and the years will go by. If you can withstand the market noise, the turbulence of long-term holding on to Magic cards, I think a card like that is going to be a winner. And the last card I want to share with you all today is Conversion. Again, Unlimited Edition. Unlimited's only $3.51 US, $5 US, and you can have an unlimited near mint conversion. Cards like this just don't come around. Wizards doesn't want to slow the game up or manipulate mana pools. 2 white, 2 other enchantment. All mountains are considered plains. Well, conversion is in play. Pay 2 white during your upkeep, or it's discarded in the right white deck. This thing's amazing. In Commander, where people are playing multiple colored decks, it always has a use. It always finds a home messing somebody up, guys. This is just an amazing card. And for less than $5, seriously, we're talking value. Unlimited's kind of being untapped right now. People aren't thinking about it or doing anything about it. There are so many cards available locally that I've started to dabble in picking up a few up myself, even if it's just some basic lands to build with some decks, because at $2 a land, I can't go wrong. I hope you guys paid attention to the video. I hope you had a good time while you were here. Can't wait to see the comments in the comment section. And thanks once again for hanging out in the channel. Remember, keep the conversation going. I look forward to seeing you all tomorrow. I'll see you then. And thanks once again to all the fantastic patrons on my channel supporting me each and every day. I can't wait to see you guys on the live stream, and we'll see what craziness will unfold. See you then. You made it to the end. You don't know what to do? Just put a boomstick in the comments section and let me know you're still alive. I'll see you guys then. Have an awesome day today. Boomstick edition!